Hello, this is I Know Everything, and I'm going to make a short video. So, some of you probably know who Paul Begley is, and some of you probably know who God Rules is, and Sail Daddy, and well, there's several of them. Let me ask you a question. If you're a true Christian, why would you ask people to constantly click a link? But hold on, before we go any further, see this gold coin? Noble gold. Click it, so I can become rich and you can become an idiot. Okay, now we're done. So, if you actually buy gold and silver, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to eat it? Is it going to feed you? And who's going to want to trade, let's say, a loaf of bread for a piece of metal? Nobody. Because if they don't have food, why would they want metal? What, to make a grill? To what? Coat their cat? Make pots and pans out of it? You can't eat it. But at the same time, in the same breath, most of them are saying food is becoming scarce, we're running out of food. Pretty soon we're not going to have any food. Poultry, produce. But buy gold. Make sure you buy gold. Hold on. Click the link. Noble Gold. Click it. I don't have a link. So I'm not an idiot. Every single video that Paul Begley makes and now God Rules and Sail Daddy, they want you to click the link and buy gold, buy silver. But do you know they make profits off of that? They're making money while you're going broke and you're buying worthless garbage. So you're stacking up your gold and your silver. Okay, so you're turning your cash into garbage. You might as well just buy a bunch of aluminum foil, honestly, or a bunch of plastic, saran wrap, because nobody's gonna want it. Nobody's gonna want that. When society shuts down and money becomes worthless, the last thing you should do is invest your money into something that nobody's going to want. Who's going to want gold and silver? If you can't get food, if food is not being produced and manufactured, and the farms aren't operating, and there's nothing being produced, why would you want gold and silver? Okay, now let me slash this in half and also explain another part. There's also people that think that gold and silver will be valuable. And so if you have gold and silver, you're going to get robbed or probably killed. And they're going to take it. They're going to have an abundance of it because they're going to probably slaughter a lot of people thinking that they have something that's valuable. And then when they go to trade it in, it's going to be worthless. So I say, what good is gold and silver when food is hard to find and people are starving? Who's going to trade that? And why would they want it? They're not going to want it. You can't do anything with gold and silver. You can't eat it. You can't really make anything out of it that's useful in a time like this. So, honestly, all you're doing is enriching people who have half a brain, are hopefully stocking up on food with the money they're making, which they're probably doing, and they're also probably making a bunker, which is not going to really do them any good. They're going to die in it. All they're doing is building a tomb, on many different levels. I'm not going to go there, but what are you going to do with metal? When you're starving and you have metal, you can trade it to a fool who might think it's valuable, but there's always someone who's smarter who's going to say, "You're a damn fool. You gave everything away that was worth a value to buy garbage, and now you have nothing. You have a bunch of aluminum cans that nobody wants. You have a bunch of gold that's worthless. Yeah, it might be valuable now or then when money had a value, because that's the stupidity of everyone. Gold is really, in real life, is not worth shit. Diamonds are nothing. They're not worth shit. It's a facade. You know, silver is worth nothing. It's a facade. You've been led to believe it has value, but when money has no value and you can't trade it for food because they're starving too and they don't want that shit. You've traded your whole life to someone who made a profit food wise for garbage. So, you know, the term fool's gold isn't just fake gold, it's exactly what it is, fool's gold. You've been misled to believe that gold is worth something when it really isn't. Yeah, it's a valuable metal when it comes to electronics, of course. It's very conductive, but other than that, it's not worth shit. It's abundant. There's so much of it that nobody fucking wants it. Silver, same thing. Silver's not rare. Neither is gold, and neither are diamonds. They're abundant. But when it comes down to life and death and food and necessities to get by and to live through a tough period of time, nobody wants it. So stop buying it. In fact, get rid of it. Sell it. Sell it. Just sell it. What you should be buying and what's going to be more valuable than gold, let me tell you, and it's very cheap. See, you got to be smart. You have to think in reverse. Now, like I said, food is going to be valuable because people are going to want to eat. And what's very cheap? And what did the Bible always tell you that they ate? Bread. Right? So why don't you invest? And it doesn't take but very little. You can get a lot. Or you can just buy gold and spend $2,000 an ounce to buy shit. Or you can spend $2,000 and buy enough bread, yeast, and flour that will last a long time if you seal it up. A loaf of bread will be much more valuable than an ounce of this garbage. Garbage. No one's going to eat gold. But no one's going to steal, at least not right away, yeast and bread. Right? You know, you need to unknow everything you've been taught. You need to think logically. You can survive on yeast and flour and, of course, some water. You can survive. And you won't need gold and silver. Why waste your money on it? An ounce of gold for what, $1,600 to $2,000? What are you going to do with that? Nothing. You're going to starve. But imagine how much bread you can buy with 1 ounce of value before you even buy the gold. So $1,600 or whatever the price is right now, I really don't know. I really don't care. I don't keep track of that crap. But imagine how much flour and yeast that you can buy right now. It will last you years. Your family will never starve. And you won't need gold and silver. If you really know what's happening right now, if you really know what's coming And some of you just don't want to face it, and that's fine. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what's going to happen. You're going to get caught off guard. Okay? You're going to be stuck in your home and not be able to leave if you don't comply. But you can have food to last you a long time. You won't need to leave your home. Just imagine. Just imagine, at least, $1,000 that you can invest on less than an ounce of gold. $1,000 of flour and yeast. That could possibly last you a lifetime of food. And yeah, I know it's just bread. But back then, that's what they lived on. Bread, manna. You know? And they used to cook bread, with using dung. I'm not asking you to cook your bread with poop, but, if you're going to survive, you have to have something worth eating that's going to be nutritious in some way. Think about it. You can sit on gold and silver. Or stocks and bonds, or your IRA, whatever. What good is it when you can't use it? But if you have 100 pounds of flour and you have 25 pounds of yeast, not only can you make bread, but you can make wine just like they did back in the day in the Bible, right? Don't fall for this shit. Yeah, I'm a Christian, and yes, I cuss. But you know what? God chooses people to talk to people at their level. If I was to Bible thump you and just preach verses to you in Scripture, would you listen? No. Well, some of you might. But most of you wouldn't. So I'm trying to relate and connect and talk to you at a level that we can all understand. And I apologize for those of you who don't like, cuss words, but this is serious. We are running out of time. Very quickly. All of a sudden Trump and Melania have the virus. Do you not see the stage that they're playing their act on? It's going to become a very serious fake problem very soon that we're all going to be stuck in, and the act is not going to stop. They're going to play out their role, and we're all going to be stuck at home very soon. The CDC said that. They're going to put everybody in their place, and they're not going to leave it. And they're going to force the, and there's two of them. The first one may be a placebo to make everyone think, oh, it's not really so bad. Or maybe it won't be. But the second one, just, refuse it, mind your own business, stay home, and that's fine if you have to stay home. But if you have what you need, it doesn't matter. Well, it does. It's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. But you have to understand your role here. Don't be a fool. And stop paying these fake channels who pretend to care about you and give you information while they're stealing your money. Because do you think that they're not buying supplies? They're going to have soups and dehydrated meat and all these things. Canned food. Because you know why? They have the money to do it. Based upon the sales of the things like gold, silver, flashlights, VPN, so on and so forth. And what are you doing? You're donating your money to them at the same time, thinking they're doing you a favor. And yeah, they have some information that is very good. But do you not think they're plants? They're put there to gain your trust and take your money. They're milking you dry why you think you can believe them. But anyone selling gold or telling you to click a link to buy gold and silver is not your friend. And they're definitely not a real Christian. And if they are a real Christian, well, didn't the Bible say to tell the truth freely? So why are they stealing from you? Why are they misleading you? Why are they trying to get you to buy garbage with your hard-earned money? When you want to survive and you want to live and you want to feed your family and you're buying stocks and bonds and metals that nobody wants, nobody's going to want it. Think about it. Buy wisely. Like I said, flour, yeast, and dehydrate some food. It'll last a short time, or freeze dry it. It'll last the longest, and the most nutritious is the freeze dry. If you dehydrate with heat, it's going to lose a lot of value, nutritional value. But it's sure a whole lot better than buying gold and silver. Hold on, I have to. Yeah, I have to flip over this steak because it might be the last steak I have. Because you know what? At some point, you're not going to be able to buy them either. So this ribeye steak that I'm eating now, I would never actually spend $25 on 3 ribeye steaks. And actually, in my life, I've never done it before. But it could be the very last one I ever have. So, spoil yourself once, but think about it. Your family can survive on bread and bread alone. The Indians have done it. And when I don't say the Indians, like, woo, 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 I mean like in India, okay? I don't believe in the freaking Indian bullshit. It's not what you think. Cowboys and Indians it's made up. I mean, yeah, there's people who wear cowboy hats and boots, and they live in the Midwest, and they ride horses. But, come on, man. Learn the real history. Stop believing what you've been taught. History in school, and history on TV, and History Channel is not true. It's not true. Anything beyond 1900 or 1910 is made up bullshit. Okay? This is not the first time that the world has gone through a reset. In fact, like I said, 1910, 1900 to 1910 was also a reset as well. I'm not going to go into it. Do your research. Look at Antiquitech and Free Energy and Mud Flood Reset, and then maybe you'll understand what I'm saying. I've already gotten so many strikes and warnings from my platforms that I don't even like making videos really anymore. But something tells me to keep going, and so I am. This video is almost 20 minutes long, just to make you understand. And most of you probably already stopped watching. But buy bread. Well, the makings of bread. Flour, yeast, and if you want to add something to it, then buy that too. If you want to make wheat bread, then buy some wheat. But it's cheap. That's my point. But listen, I work at a store, and prices are going up. So buy them soon. Okay. A lot of things are not available anymore. The manufacturer or the supplier is out. They're taking out a lot of silos around the world. If you've been paying attention and you know what I'm talking about, they're also wiping out a lot of crops with geoengineering and weather modification. And if you don't believe in it, well, then you have a lot to learn, because there's over 20 companies, way over 20 companies, that you can find online that control the weather. And it's not a hidden thing. If you look at satellite images, if you watch Above Ground World News, or AGWN, which is his new channel, he shows this every day. If you watch Dutch Sense and, do some research, you can see, and look at California, look at from California to the Midwest, look at East Coast, look at Brazil, look at Australia. They're burning down places, and the weather patterns are changing. If you now look, they're building a mega dam in India in the desert, because they know that our weather patterns are changing. It's now becoming a flourished and nourished vegetative area in the desert lands, while we're becoming unproductive. Do you not know why Iceland is called Iceland and Greenland's called Greenland? Because that's what they once were, and it's going back to that. Okay? It's happening, whether you want to believe it or not. Iceland isn't called Iceland for no reason whatsoever. And Greenland's not called Greenland when obviously it's covered in ice, and Iceland's covered, it doesn't have really any ice, it's flourished. But that's changing, it's going back to the way it was. You gotta do your research. You don't understand what's happening here. You don't get it. And I'm not a fool. I've done years and years and years of research, and I tell you what, if you still believe the world is round and not a plane, flat, just like the Bible says, unmovable, stands upon pillars, covered with the firmament called heaven. The firmament is heaven. If you don't understand what any of this is, then you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it. And I'm just a fool. To you, not to me. I'm not a fool. But to you, you might think I am. But if there's one thing that you ever heard that you need to listen to, is you need to think simple. Buy cheap. And I'm not talking about top ramen. Flour. It lasts a very long time if you seal it. You can keep the weevils and the bugs out of it and seal it. Yeast. Seal it. Okay? Think about it. You need to think about it. I'm not playing. If you care enough about yourself and your family, you will at least go and spend $50 on flour and yeast. Think about what you need, the parts, based upon what you want to eat for a couple of years. And I'm not saying eat a loaf of bread every 5 minutes. We need to think and eat in a way that's nutritious, but yet it's going to last and be survivable. Even water is going to be hard to come by, so you might want to think about having some tanks to store it in. Plastic, of course. Safe plastic. You better start thinking. You better start paying attention. My name is David. I know everything. And you better start thinking. I'm out.